Guys, what's going on? Back again with another Arbitrum ecosystem update. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice, and everything I say is my opinion and my opinion alone. We have a lot of stuff happening today, a lot of exciting news, so let's jump right into it. We have a tweet here by Saigar. Saigar says that Arbitrum chains are about to get magnitudes cheaper with two huge announcements today. One, Stylus activation proposal. We'll see Rust smart contracts with cheaper costs very soon. And two, Celestia's Blobstream integration, meaning much cheaper data availability costs, even compared to 4844. Now I'm actually going to click on to two separate tweets that go into depth on each one. The first by Austin. The proposal for adopting Arbitrum Stylus is now live for discussion. Stylus brings Rust smart contracts to Arbitrum without compromising on EVM compatibility. Higher efficiency, more accessibility, and fully interoperable with the EVM. This is a first. This is huge news, guys. So for those of you who don't know, as Austin said, Arbitrum Stylus is essentially an upgrade to any existing Arbitrum chain that allows for smart contracts in Rust, C, C++, any language that can compile down to WASM. Now this, of course, because it's simply an AIP, it is currently being put up as a proposal by the Arbitrum Foundation. So if you are a community member or if you're a team building on Stylus or what have you, feel free to come in here, comment, leave any thoughts, notes, anything that you guys like to see changed, or just if you're excited to see Stylus go live on Arbitrum 1 and Arbitrum Nova. Because just to be clear, for those of you who don't know, once Stylus is mainnet ready, you can actually implement it straight away on any Arbitrum Orbit chain, assuming you have control over it. Whereas the public chains, Arbitrum 1, Arbitrum Nova, do have to go through this proposal process. So through the forums, then through Snapshot, which is off-chain, kind of a temperature check, and then finally on-chain through Tally. But yeah, very, very exciting stuff. And I think someone else said it on Twitter earlier today. This is one of the few narratives, I think, or one of the few things that isn't really being talked about a lot right now. It's kind of like how Orbit chains, like layer 3s, were last year. When we were talking about Orbit chains, L3s, whatnot, for a long time already. But now people are starting to get excited about it because they're seeing examples of it live in the environment. Stylus is going to be, I think, very, very similar, but probably even bigger, just because of this new thing with multiple languages and kind of the interoperability you have between Stylus smart contracts and EVM-based smart contracts. But anyways, all right, that's it for Stylus. Let's go into the tweet here by Celestia that Saigar had also mentioned. Celestia says, Blobstream is now live on Arbitrum 1. Developers can soon deploy Orbit chains with Celestia underneath on Arbitrum 1 and Base. The first modular DA integration with working Nitro fraud proofs. I'm not sure why they included Base here, since Base is using the OP stack, which does not currently have any fraud proofs. But yeah, nonetheless, Arbitrum 1 obviously is going to be the first chain essentially with Celestia underneath that has working proofs fully and ready to go. Very, very exciting, especially for those who are looking, again, to deploy their own Orbit chains, whether it be on Arbitrum 1, whether it be on, I guess in this case, it'd probably be, I guess you can use Celestia as DA even as an L2. Yeah, you could. And then, of course, if you want to deploy an Orbit chain on top of another L2, if you'd like. But that being said, very exciting stuff happening today in terms of those two announcements. Let's move on to the next tweet. I put up a tweet here today actually giving a quick overview about what's been possible for a long time now, but just really hasn't been advertised that much. So essentially, it's just a quick tutorial, 24 seconds actually to be exact, about how you can bridge any ERC20 token that lives on Ethereum to Arbitrum 1. So all you literally would do here is go to bridge.arbitrum.io, click on the ETH button, paste any L1 token address in the search bar, and then pay the approval and bridge fee. Oh my God, terrible. There's a couple of caveats here. In this case, the initial fee that you pay for if you want to actually deposit the token, if it's never been deposited before into Arbitrum, you'll actually be paying for the contract deployment on L2, which still should be pretty cheap now that EIP 4844 is out. But nonetheless, that fee might be a little more expensive than you normally would if you were just bridging a token that's already been bridged across. And then in this case, I used Chai, which I think is the Onesis token as the example to bridge. I literally already had it in my wallet, and I'm pretty sure that's never been bridged before, so that's why I decided to use it. But if you want to go more in depth on how it actually works, Waifu Collector here actually put up a complete thread about how you can bridge it over and actually provide liquidity for any L1 token that, originally on L1, bridged over to Arbitrum. A complete thread on it. And in this case, he did it for MOG on Arbitrum. So pretty cool stuff. Definitely feel free to check it out if you're interested. And if you want to start bridging tokens from Ethereum to Arbitrum to experience the extremely low gas costs, because it's definitely making a difference now. We have an update here from Janus, which I assume is from Espresso Systems. Yes. I'm not going to go into the entire thing just because it's a lot of stuff. But what I will do is I'll run through this and then I'll talk about one of the more important things that I saw here. But anyways, Janus says, 2 Arbitrum chains used Espresso for decentralized shared sequencing on our latest testnet. A bridge demo between Arbitrum Nova chains was deployed, and an ongoing R&D work is moving forward. Lots of stuff brewing from Espresso in the Arbitrum ecosystem. One of the things that they spoke about here actually is something I'm really excited for. Actually, I'll talk about these two specifically. We also deployed a version of the Across protocol. And demoed a bridge transaction where 2 Arbitrum Nova chains received pre-confirmation from Hotshot within 2 seconds. This demo showed fast bridging between rollups with strong safety guarantees for across layers. That's very exciting because obviously I think all of us kind of view like the holy grail of like cross-chain scaling, or scaling cross-chain at least, as this kind of interoperable being where you can have multiple rollups kind of communicating with one another at any given time. And it seems like they were actually able to do this with a cross protocol. And again, this is more specifically for an Arbitrum Nova based chain using the AnyTrust protocol. So I think they actually meant to say Arbitrum AnyTrust chain, not Arbitrum Nova chains, because Arbitrum Nova is the main public one. Anyways, the other update they had here was the Espresso and Offchain Labs teams are currently finalizing the design for decentralized time boost. After that, we'll move on to the 4th stage of our R&D roadmap, development and testing. This is also very exciting because for those of you who don't know, time boost is essentially a transaction ordering mechanism that allows you to pretty much capture MEV revenue and collect it for whoever, right? If you're running your own chain, then you can collect it for your chain. If you have a DAO, in this case for Arbitrum 1, Arbitrum Nova, if decentralized time boost were to be on there, then you could essentially have the DAO collect any fees from people who do want to try to front run the sequencer or what have you. And I think that could actually happen in a centralized fashion too through the current sequencer that Arbitrum 1 has. But nonetheless, still very exciting stuff coming from the Espresso community. Frankly, like there's so many things happening like from a tech perspective in this ecosystem that it's hard to keep up with everything. But that's why we do these updates, right? So everyone can be up to date. I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out here. Yesterday, there was a lot of stuff happening yesterday. Between all the meme stuff happening yesterday, all the and I think DMT just absolutely skyrocketing. We had a lot of people using Arbitrum. About 1.46 million active addresses were on Arbitrum, making it the hottest layer 2 of the past week, just slightly surpassing Base. But very, very exciting stuff. I mean, like, it's kind of funny because I think crypto Twitter nowadays, I don't know if it's maybe because of who I'm interacting with personally, but it almost feels like there's like a lot more happening in other ecosystems sometimes than there is on Arbitrum. But then you really look at it and it's like, I guess not really. Like, I think there's just a lot of people like who use Arbitrum for different things who may not even interact with the crypto community specifically on Twitter. That it's kind of like I'm not really put in this bubble, if that makes sense. But nonetheless, it's great to see. I think that at the end of the day, that's how we scale, right? I mean, the fact that you can't really like move a needle with just one tweet from like an account is, I think it's probably pretty important. I guess, I mean, not including the meme thing yesterday. Yeah, that was a fun thing. Nonetheless, I think what also happened because of that was the insane amount of TPS that the chain saw. 100 TPS. Arbitrum 1 hit 100 TPS yesterday. And fees stayed pretty low. Fees were actually just around the fees on Arbitrum right before EIP 4844. Actually, it's still cheaper than that too. Because for those of you who don't know, Arbitrum is about seven Ethereum's worth of scale before hitting congestion, if that makes sense. So essentially, Ethereum can roughly hit around 12 TPS. Arbitrum can hit like around 6 to 7 times that before congesting, essentially, before fees start to rise up, I should say. So yeah, Arbitrum 1 saw 100 TPS yesterday, which is absolutely insane. Yeah, most likely, as Average Joe's Crypto here says memes, and then AJ also chimes in liquidations from price volatility is probably another one as well. To be honest, it was probably that one. We have a tweet here, or I should say probably like a huge monologue by AJ, Offchain Labs. I'm not going to read the entire thing just because it is quite a long read. But if you do have time, highly recommend reading it. Again, it'll be in the description below. But it boils down to a couple things that I myself can also actually resonate with pretty well. I'm gonna go here. He says, when I first discovered Bitcoin in 2014, the two themes that immediately attracted me to it were one, sovereignty. I don't know if I said that right. And two, as a law school student with very little money and an uncredited investor, the fact that it was probably the best risk-reward early-stage opportunity that I've ever come across in my life. And I want to go ahead and see here. Bam. So how do I think about the relationship with meme coins? I hope they onboard users like Bitcoin onboarded me, and I hope that those users ultimately see what I see. Sovereignty and decentralized technology matters and can improve lives everywhere. And I view my role to be to provide builders assisting in that adoption curve with everything they need to have those users continue along that funnel of education, adoption, and ultimately, I should say, a sovereign on-chain self. I will run through the walls to help builders within the Arbitrum ecosystem, and the broader crypto spaces do that. Arbitrum and what we are trying to do is about freedom and sovereignty, and I think that is the end goal. I literally cannot agree with that more. I tell people all the time that, like, when I first joined the space back in 2017, there was I was pretty much onboarded by a family friend who was just getting into crypto. Or my entire family kind of, all of us were kind of meeting every Sunday at like our local Panera just to talk about what we were doing, how we were approaching Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that other stuff. This was back in 2017, right? So this is before DeFi was even a thing. This is when ICOs were starting to pop off. And I remember like the feeling that I had just exploring crypto, trying it out for the first time, using a wallet, and just having these conversations with these people I care about. This is my family I was doing a lot of this stuff in. And I would definitely agree. Like, I think what brought me in was definitely the idea of the potential opportunity of making money within the space. But like really what keeps you there, like what really kept me there was this idea of decentralization, that you can have these systems that aren't controlled by one being, that I can have ownership over my own stuff. And those basic things are so important and so valuable that it's like, we should never forget that, which is why to AJ's point, when people are here talking on Twitter saying, there's a good amount of back and forth, right? Some people like memes, some people don't like memes, think it's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of resources, whatever. Like, this is what happens when you create a permissionless system, right? Like, it lends itself to do whatever like humans are attracted to. And in this case, humans are kind of attracted to like gambling and spending money and hoping of getting more money. And in this case, memes is like the backbone of this stuff, right? So that's why you have the Dogecoin and this other stuff. Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's, as AJ kind of alludes to in part of his tweet here, like, a lot of this stuff does onboard people in a meaningful way, and for some of them keeps them here. For some of them it does leave a bad taste in their mouth, right? You buy a meme coin, it goes down to zero. You're probably not gonna like crypto that much, right? If that's all you see it as. But as you said, yeah, I totally agree. At the end of the day, I think for me, crypto is like all about opportunity to whether it's you provide more value for yourself, get more value from yourself from the market, whether it's somehow enter a space that is like young and you're still able to make a foothold for yourself from a career perspective, or just from like a branding perspective, depending on if you're a creator or not, and just ultimately bring power back to the people. That's what we're all here for, dude. If we can make some money along the way, that'd be awesome. But at the end of the day, like, decentralization, sovereignty, as he says, I think is the most important thing that we can never forget about, right? So, people can trade meme coins if they want. TLDR. Let them trade it. Why not? I'm terrible at trading meme coins, which is why I don't usually do it. But nonetheless, let's move on to the next one. That was a great tweet. We have a tweet here by Pirate Nation. Pirates, it's time. Booty points are now yours to claim. Dude, I put way too much emphasis on that B. To thank the pirates who sailed with us on our voyage so far, our players and collectors can immediately check and collect booty points. And for even more booty, make sure you don't miss out Season 1 coming soon. I'm shouting this out because I'm a big fan of the Pirate Nation team, the folks over at Proof of Play who created Pirate Nation, I should say. Pirate Nation, if you don't know, is actually currently ran on the Proof of Play Apex chain, which is an Arbitrum Orbit chain, and L3 on top of Arbitrum 1. I think they've been hitting some pretty crazy metrics as of late, and it's one of the few games that is completely, like, everything is abstracted away. The average person can play this game and have a great time. It's why I was able to claim my points personally, and I didn't get a lot of points, to be honest with you. But I played about 2 weeks straight, and then I figured I gotta stop because I gotta do some actual work because I do have a job. Anyways, this game is awesome. If you play Pirate Nation before, make sure to see if you have any booty points, and if you haven't, give it a try. It's a really, really fun game, and I highly recommend it. But that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.